Howdy, howdy,
Howdy, brobers.
and welcome to But It Was Aliens, the extraterrestrial comedy podcast. I'm the host this week, Greybeard. And with me, as always, is my trusty sidekick, Granville Moonwalker.
I would like you all to take note. I think this is the first time he's referred to himself as Greybeard. I won!
Together, we take it in turns each week to probe real-life alien incidents to find out whether aliens really were involved at all. So, Granville, say in a hypothetical world, humans could travel to alien planets. An 18-year-old you hops in a spaceship and does so. You arrive on an alien planet and you want to leave your G was ear mark. What would you do?
Probably... Oh, that sounds really bad, but graffiti. Something somewhere.
But graffiti what?
Probably just a G. That's it. Nothing else. But I know I was there. That's all that matters. It'll be something... So, do they know the English language? Have they travelled...
Who knows?
Because I could just leave it there, and it could just be this weird symbol that appeared out of nowhere, and no one knows what it is. And how we see weird symbols and be like, was this left by an alien species?
Mm-hmm.
I would do exactly the same.
Except it would be a G.
Yep.
I'd draw a dick, probably. In fact, 18-year-old you'd probably draw a dick.
And I'd write your name in it.
Thank you. Well, today we are covering crop circles. This is, of course, going to be quite a visual episode, so I apologise to our listeners. You may need to probe our Instagram at But It Was Aliens podcast, where we will upload photos of the crop circles we are probing today. So firstly, what are crop circles? A crop circle, also known as a corn circle or crop formation, is basically a flattening of crop in patterns hard to explain by conventional means. The term crop circle originated from the 1980s. Recent, right? But crop circles have actually been around millennia or decades. The moment someone hears the term crop circle, they think aliens. The reason for this is obvious, because they are made by goddamn aliens.
I'm going to propose.
That's very romantic of you. Live on the podcast, Granville is proposing to me.
Kevin Greybeard. So,
Yes.
what if this was just not a farmer, but like a farmer's kid that really wanted to be an artist, and they were told that they're not allowed. It's not like they have to become a farmer, just like their dad before them, like all the generations, and all they wanted to do was draw. So what they did is they literally just went out into the field and just done a massive piece of art in the crops. Same way that Neil Buchanan used to do on Art Attack, where you used to see like a small picture of it, and then all of a sudden it would zoom out and there's just this massive picture he'd done in a field somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a descendant of Neil Buchanan and he started crop circles.
Maybe it was Neil Buchanan.
Maybe he is the time-travelling artist. That's it, we've done it.
There we go.
Art Attack.
Time-travelling
linked.
art attack explanation.
Neil Buchanan is the reason for crop circles. Done.
Crop circles were, for a prolific period in the 1980s, thought to be somewhat of a UK issue.
Neil Buchanan.
But these mother truckers are actually worldwide, baby!
Travelling Neil Buchanan.
What's interesting, though, is that despite their prevalence in popular culture, there hasn't actually been that many scientific studies of crop circles.
Because somebody caught
Neil
Neil Buchanan doing it.
No one's going to know who Neil Buchanan is.
Go look him up. Art Attack. Can't remember the theme for it. I keep thinking Funhouse.
I'm going to have to stick it in, aren't I? The first record of a crop circle I could find in a semi-modern era was in 1678 in Hertfordshire. There's a pamphlet called The Mowing Devil, which outlines the story of a farmer who refused to pay a workman's price to mow his field and swore that he would rather the devil mowed it than pay that price. Be careful what you wish for. That night, the field went up in flames, and the next morning, the field was discovered to have been mowed in a manner no human could achieve. I should point out that this tale describes the crops as being cut, well, mowed, rather than bent, so it's a lot easier to do and less mysterious to explain, though the appearance is very similar. Here's a pamphlet for historical accuracy, Mr. Moonwalker.
So this pamphlet is called The Mowing Devil, and he's picture the number 0 just put on its side, and then there's a little devil in the middle, as if he's trying, like, cutting that circle into the crops. Really, what he's done is he said that, and they thought, you know what, we're going to get you. So they went and cut his lawn for him, and then set it alight, and said, look, the devil's done it now. And then I don't know what they got out of it after that. I don't know if no one wanted to work with the farmer afterwards. Did it destroy his livelihood? Did he then go, I'm sorry, and then pay them to mow his lawn?
I've got no frickin' idea what happened after it. Just the pamphlet explaining very much what I said.
Well,
Do you think the devil does laugh like that?
no.
Here, I'll give you the money you wished for. There'll be no price to pay for you in return.
And there he goes.
What are you laughing at?
And then trundles off. Would you like the devil to do your housework?
Yes.
What if every time he'd done it, something went up in
Yes.
flames?
Hold on. Something like what?
Anything.
Anything not in my home?
Something in your home,
Ooh.
not necessarily associated with the housework he's doing. So he could do the dishes, and then all of a sudden your towels just go up in
Well, I
flames.
don't want to have no towels. That sounds like a very bad deal. I'll soon have nothing left in the place.
Or he starts changing your bed, and then your sofa goes up in flames.
No, devil!
And he makes that noise too.
No, I shall do my own housework. However, if he wants to put other things up in flames, like nature, the whole town is up in flames apart from my place, and I'm sitting there happily.
Nice and clean.
Sorry, town. I'm the only person living there, no one to talk to. I am the devil. Doing my own housework. There were further reports in 1686 from naturalist, not naturist, Robert Plot of rings or arcs of mushrooms in the natural history of Staffordshire, whereby Bob proposed air flows from the sky as a cause. Aliens. In 1880, meanwhile, an amateur scientist wrote a letter to the editor of the Nature Journal elaborating upon how a storm had created flattened crops in a field, aka aliens. More recently, in 1932, archaeologist E. Kirwan found 4 rings in a field near Chichester, noting that the crop appeared beaten down and the interior area was slightly mounded up. In 1963, there was a crater identified in a potato field in Wiltshire by Patrick Moore, who attributed it to a meteoric event, aka aliens. There were several circular areas in a wheat field nearby. Others felt lightning was responsible, aka aliens. There are an awful lot of these type of reports, more than 10,000 in fact, so I won't go over all of them, but I just wanted to give you a snapshot of the most commonly quoted early ones.
So there's loads of different accounts of crop circles, but
Yes.
all with different and varying causes.
Theorised causes, yes.
So were there any elaborate patterns to any of these ones? Or were there just like flattened areas of
Flattened areas and
Crops.
circles or rings predominantly. So probably not as elaborate as what you're thinking, because you're probably thinking of the modern images.
which were done by Neil Buchanan? But
So this is
Maybe-
pre-Art Attack.
maybe this is baby Buchanan. He's
developing his skills
seeing what works, what doesn't work.
before he made a
practicing.
deal with the devil
Who's
To
to say he made a
inherit-
deal?
to inherit art skills.
What if he's the son of the devil?
I've somehow got lost there. Why would he be the son of the devil?
I also just had a thought. If these crop circles were done by Neil Buchanan, Alien is in the name Neil Buchanan. So technically they were done by an alien. What if his name is Neil A. Buchanan?
It's Neil Armstrong all over again. There is one specific case I do want to touch upon, however. In 1967, in Duhamel, sometimes mistakenly reported as Camrose, but both in Alberta, Canada, the Department of National Defence declared that a crop circle found there was definitively artificial, but couldn't say who made them or how they were made. Because obviously we didn't have alien technology back then. The National Defence did state that these tracks were definitely not from farm vehicles, and I only share that because a side project to Project Blue Book, led by physicist Edward Condon, later suggested that the circles were probably made by farm vehicles. Condon was trying to push away evidence, no doubt. Here's an actual image of it for you. Now remember, don't expect the mad spirals you sometimes see here. This is potential evidence of an alien craft. Here we go. Check this indisputable evidence of one of 4 rings made by extraterrestrials. He's laughing at how good this evidence is.
Okay, so in front of me is a picture of a field, and in the field there is to be fair, half the picture's missing, so it just looks like a badly drawn semicircle that could have been done by a wheelbarrow, for example. Or
Whoa.
could have been done by someone just dragging their foot in a semicircle. This could have been done by anything.
How dare you, sir?
There is no proof here that this was ever done by aliens.
You can clearly see the outline of an alien craft.
The fact that he giggled when he said it means it definitely wasn't. If it wasn't
Your
done,
microphone goes up in flames.
if it wasn't done by a farm vehicle, it was done by a wheelbarrow. Or just something heavy was placed and dragged.
Okay, so let's get a little deeper then.
Could even be paint.
It's not paint.
Just like a painted circle.
It's an alien outline. From the 1970s to the late 1980s, there was an utter surge in crop circles, mainly in the Wiltshire area of the United Kingdom. Unfortunately, these crop circles were rarely photographed, but I've got a few images of ones down more recent years up to the modern day, just to illustrate what we are speaking about. So if you just like have a little flick through this selection.
Yeah, so these are some of the more elaborate ones. Like the first one I'm looking at looks like it could be a solar system, for example, of other planets from another world. Looks pretty cool. Could be like some kind of key.
Yeah, it does look kind of like a key, actually.
And the one underneath looks just circles within circles.
Almost like a cornfield maze to me,
Yeah, I was
that
just
one.
about to say that, yeah.
Yeah.
A maze. A maze of maze.
A maze. Ing.
And to be fair, these other two, well, this other one also looks like a maze. Like you'd start on the outside and you can walk yourself in and make your way to the inner sanctums of the maze.
Where they keep the treasure. Or the port key.
The one below it, elaborate circles, one huge circle, and then elaborate circles and half circles cut into the crops. Did you say these were in the 70s and 80s, or are these
Moving forward in
moving
time.
forward? What if not only is this Neil Buchanan, but it's also Banksy of the countryside?
Country Banksy?
So we have another one here that looks like a one-balled penis. Or a bong.
Yeah, I can see that.
Underneath that, we have another one that looks like so it's a star with some elaborate patterns on the outside, with then some circles on the outside. That star reminds me of a key
Seen?
from a film. There was The Mummy,
Ah!
where they had the key to Imhotep's crypt, and it was the little star box.
Yeah, see, I looked at that and I thought Converse.
Also Converse. Never dawned on me until he said it. Bloody hell. This next one below it looks incredible. Just loads and loads of circles. So a medium-sized circle in the middle, and then it has loads of smaller ones that get larger as they go out, and then they get smaller as they go in again, with little ones on either side. I don't know how to describe that. I'll tell you what, if you were to picture like a millipede or centipedes
Dirty bastards.
all not conversing,
All having a chat in the garden. All right, Jimmy, how you doing?
but they're all coming from one spot and then going round. What is that ruler called that has all the circles on it?
Oh, bloody hell.
Because it literally looks like someone has just got a giant one of those, stuck it on,
Was that...
and then just
Do you remember,
drawn.
was it Spirograph?
I was just about to mention, or a giant spirograph.
So I guess the point that I'm making with all these is that they get more and more elaborate as time goes on,
They do look cool though.
as the aliens' technology improve.
What would you do? I suppose you don't have a garden. What if you woke up and in your hypothetical garden there was a crop circle?
I would start filling glasses with water and leaving them all around my home, and then I'd call Mel Gibson.
Would you wear a tinfoil hat?
Yes.
Smart man. Smart man.
So now we've
You may continue.
So now we've seen them advancing through the years. What are they? I mean, what are they really? Some believe that crop circles are connected to ley lines, lines between significant historical landmarks or structures oozing with earth energy. It's not really stated how, though. Another idea is that they are messages from time travellers. Molecular biologist Horace Drew believes that he has decoded some circles to contain messages such as believe, we oppose deception, and beware the bearers of false gifts and their broken promises. Any idea what the message is with any of the circles I've just shown you?
Have you noticed that whenever there's a message in something from space or aliens, it's always along the same lines?
Why wouldn't it be?
I mean, they could say something a bit more significant.
Or maybe that is significant, we're just not hearing it.
In 2 years' time, this is going to happen. Step to the left instead of the right and you'll avoid the car. You won't die. Have a good day. That's something specific and can be used, not we oppose deception. I think most people do, you prick. Believe.
Maybe they're waiting for us to awaken to the point where we can hear the message and understand it, rather than just being like, oh, that's a shit message, let's keep going on about our day.
I reckon if you put every single crop circle that Neil Buchanan has done together, it will literally say, this has been done by Neil Buchanan. And then it'll just be, you've been art attacked.
You've been art attacked.
Slaps you with a paintbrush.
Like you've been tangoed, only.
Yep.
Oh.
With a giant paintbrush.
One of my favourite explanations for crop circles involves hedgehogs. Well, horny hedgehogs. It's genuinely been put forward that hedgehogs are banging in these areas, creating the unusual patterns. A similar theory in Australia suggests that wallabies are entering fields and basically getting high off the crops before wandering round in circles. So we have a couple of non-extraterrestrial ideas I wanted to get out of the way early here because I just don't think I can convince anyone that it's horny hedgehogs.
Wouldn't there be loads of like footprints or little hedgehog tracks?
Not if they're not heavy enough to leave footprints.
Wallaby tracks going in and out. Or just dung. You're telling me they're...
But if they're walking on crop, why would they then leave imprints in the ground as well? It'd just be the crop that's bent down, wouldn't it?
But you'd see the path that they took to get in there.
Not unless they were walking in mud.
But then you see muddy footprints.
That's what I'm saying. If they were walking in mud, you'd see footprints. If they're walking on concrete, for example, you're not going to see anything, are you?
But there's no concrete there.
But if you're walking on a field on a non-rainy day, you don't tend to leave footprints.
But you'd flatten the crops.
But you're talking about walking into the crops now, aren't you?
Yeah.
So why would
To
you need to
start
see the
their
footprints?
Do they just fly in there? Flying wallabies. Flying hedgehogs. Maybe they've done the Sonic the Hedgehog spin. And that's how he got in there.
Never really stopped to think about the concept of a horny hedgehog.
Neither had I. And I still haven't. But you clearly have. Kev loves a horny hedgehog. Do you reckon the more rings he collects, the hornier he gets?
Sonic the horny hedgehog. He's collecting rings.
I mean, he had a girlfriend in one of them. And she was
What,
human.
Tails? What?
Yeah. Somewhere along the line.
In one of the games?
I think so.
Sonic had a
Or
human
cartoon.
girlfriend. That's
Yeah.
unusual. What do their children look like?
I don't think they had kids.
Why?
I'm gonna look it up now because I'm intrigued.
Oh gosh.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
The horny hedgehog. I can only imagine what would come up if you googled that.
Some really bad drawn images from people. Here we go. So they link. I can't believe the fact that we're looking up fucking Sonic the Hedgehog's girlfriend.
What has life come to?
It's
Why didn't he stick to hedgehogs?
And Amy Rose, which I think was a hedgehog.
Yeah.
Princess Elise, I think.
So he bopped a princess.
Fiona Fox and Mina Mongoose.
Gets around with all the animals,
He
doesn't he,
does,
Sonic?
He really does. Sonic's human girlfriend.
Images. Oh no, there it goes.
So, in search of Sonic the Hedgehog's human girlfriend, after it comes up Amy Rose is a pink hedgehog and Sonic's self-proclaimed girlfriend, it then has Madonna. Madonna was a blonde-haired, skinny human woman in a form-fitting red dress and was actually going to be Sonic's girlfriend.
Okay. So a princess and Madonna.
Princess Elise the third. That's it.
All right. The third.
The third.
All right, getting back to the podcast. Aliens. Extraterrestrials. Obviously,
What a tangent.
this is the number one theory as to crop circles and the reason we are covering them. Biophysicist William Levengood found... Yes?
Is this Living Ood?
Found differences between crops inside and outside of crop circles. This, Levengood stated, was evidence that crop circles were not human-made. Levingood's journal publications were opposed by Joe Nickell, whom suggested, alongside questioning Levingood's methods, that his results needed to be duplicated by qualified scientists in double-blind studies. Levingood made the same claims about plants at cattle mutilation sites.
He really wanted aliens to be
Yeah,
a thing, didn't he?
yeah, he was passionate.
He was any little bit of evidence he was like aliens. I mean, he apparently told John Thumb that he had the smoking gun, and then he got whacked.
He got whacked. Why would aliens be making crop circles? Some believe that aliens are shooting messages down to Earth with laser-like devices to convey messages to save them needing to make the trip. Others believe that it is the alien ships accidentally or potentially even purposefully making these marks as they take off, marking where they have been.
It's not a bad shout. I reckon it could be they fly past the planet and they leave a message for the next one coming along. Like, I wouldn't bother coming here. It's a piece of shit.
Like a TripAdvisor review.
Yeah.
What are those things? QR codes?
That's it.
They're leaving
QR codes.
extraterrestrial QR codes for alien TripAdvisor. So you're thinking it's aliens then?
I'm torn. No, it's not. It's Neil Buchanan.
Okay. I don't feel that you're hugely into this one. Maybe it's that you think aliens would be more likely to draw things like we would. If you stick me on a beach, I'm drawing the outline of a dick like Jonah Hill in Superbad. It's at this point in today's file we are going to take a little trip to Cornwall. The police were using a drone to search for a suspect on the run when the drone operators came across something that surely could not be explained by man. Son, check out this real photo taken by that police drone in West Cornwall.
I think I may have seen this in a paper. And I think it's the man with the giant penis.
Check it out.
Just the giant penis. But look at how accurately that has been drawn. This could be Neil Buchanan's kid practicing their skills, or Neil Buchanan's protege. Also, to be fair, if they had any sense about them, they would have done it the other way round, so the bush is at the bottom.
Yeah.
But, you know,
What we have here, just to
They'll learn
clarify, is a giant
penis.
cock circle. It's a big penis.
Looks like someone's just taken a lawnmower and mowed a giant cock into the grass.
Which you can only see from above. You have now been introduced to cock circles. The police drone image is 100% real, taken in May 2020.
Oh.
The police drone's official Facebook page said, "It's absolutely amazing what you see from the air, and sometimes we're caught a bit off guard." Within the same month, West Cornwall was struck again. Check this lengthy bad boy out.
So we have a really long cock and balls here. It's kind of, whereas the first one, I'd say the first one has a giant set of balls. This one has
but
tiny balls, and
this one is taken from a lot higher up. This is a
Really
real
long.
big one.
and skinny. But was this all taken in 2020?
These ones were.
So lockdown had clearly, I wouldn't say gotten to some people, but they were like, right, let's just have some fun with this. Let's go out and mow people's lawns.
There's nothing else we can do. Let's go out and make dicks.
Yep.
Well,
The dicks of 2020.
these dicks have actually been appearing over the world too. In 2018, pre-lockdown, son, one turned up in Marcus Hill's Betoota Dry Lake bed in Victoria, Australia, that was so big that it was visible on Google Earth. Yes,
Awesome.
it is visible from space. I'll include 2 images of that one below, along with one from 2019, also in Australia, at TW Blake Park in Preston, Melbourne, which is actually believed to have been there a year before being noticed. Look at the area of the second one. I don't know how someone could whip that out without anyone noticing.
So we have they have even put a little bit of spunk coming out
Now,
of his
how
hip.
do you know that's not pee?
Have you ever drawn a penis and drawn pee coming out of it?
Yes,
Don't lie.
I have. I'll draw him right now.
Without someone peeing. Like, no body attached to it, just a penis. Have you? No. So we have a close-up, and it is literally a close-up of Google Earth, and this penis is huge. And then we see a zoomed-out picture, and you can just about make the penis out. Is that a dry lake?
It's a dry lake bed,
isn't it?
yeah.
So when that
In
lake was
Victoria.
dry, they were like, right, let's get in here.
Let's
Let's
make a
draw
penis.
How many people do you reckon it took to make that penis?
Well, aliens.
So about 2 Neil Buchanans.
1 alien.
Banksy and Buchanan together. One did the balls, the other did the shaft.
You did the shaft.
So who am I then? Banksy or Buchanan?
Whichever one did the shaft.
Cool. Banksy. Okay, so where's this second one? Or third picture even?
So that one was in Australia at TW Blake Park,
Okay.
Melbourne.
So at TW Blake Park, we have a giant penis, which has been drawn. And then below it is another smaller penis. It's like,
Oh, yeah. They were obviously doing it in a park and were not expecting to get away with making it. So they did a little one. They're like, wait, why is no one saying anything?
no one's caught us.
They were like,
Let's
right.
just do a giant one.
Well, we're going to go to town.
Yeah, so 2 penises in the park.
That sounds like a festival. Penis in the park.
2021. Who's headlining?
Pretty built up area, isn't it? Pretty built up area.
It is, but at the same time, it's not. Or it is, but I reckon if you were to take a lawnmower, like back a car up, take a lawnmower there, someone would just think that you're just mowing the grass. Like you could get away with it. They'd just think you were a parky.
All right. Looking at alternative explanations, the first and most
Buchanan.
obvious would be that crop circles are man-made. Crop circles almost always appear near roads and areas of population. Unfortunately for today's probe, in 1987, it has been uncovered that Dave Chorley of Winchester in Hampshire and his buddy Doug Bauer were largely responsible for the majority of circles appearing in the 1970s until 1987, and for many between 1987 and 1991, predominantly in Wiltshire and Hampshire. These chaps would use rope and planks along with wire to help them walk straight overnight on farmers' fields. In 1991, a crop circle was discovered so impressive that it was described as impossible to make via human hand. The chaps themselves, Bauer and Chorley, came forward at this time and took credit for this impressive circle, as well as the majority of crop circles as I outlined. The boys said that they were inspired by the Tully saucer nest in Australia, which we could cover one day. A farmer saw a UFO and then a crop circle did indeed appear. Bauer and Chorley actually created a crop circle in front of journalists and had Pat DeLargo, a supporter of the theory of crop circles being paranormal, come out and verify the crop circle to be authentic before then admitting that they had created it. Oops. After this, it is said that crop circles began appearing more frequently worldwide. Meanwhile, the shapes became more complex, almost like an art.
It is art.
But of course, Bauer and Chorley would want notoriety for an almost divine circle, wouldn't they? That doesn't mean that crop circles are man-made. What if Bauer and Chorley are aliens? Plus, that doesn't explain the more historic crop circles.
It does. People got bored and they were like, let's just see if we can put a bit of art out here. And they done it. Like countryside Banksies.
They basically are, aren't they?
Yep.
What I love, though, is that they made this circle in front of people and then they got that paranormal investigator to come out and verify it to be paranormal.
And they were like, ha, douche. We done it.
Coincidentally, I don't think we've ever heard of that paranormal investigator since.
No, we have not. So these guys clearly met the time-travelling Neil Buchanan, and he told them how it was done.
Or did they tell him how it's done?
Nope, he told them. He travels through time.
Okay.
I really want a picture of Neil Buchanan like on the Instagram when this comes out.
Prior to Bauer and Chorley, in Fortean Times, which is a British monthly magazine focusing upon strange phenomena, basically, a chap named David Wood claimed in 1940 to have been making crop circles near Gloucestershire using ropes. In 1992, 2 Hungarian teenagers were actually sued by the landowners after admitting on live TV that they created a fairly famous crop circle by producing before and after photos. Some have suggested ball lightning to be a cause, though no evidence exists. Another factor is archaeological remains beneath the ground. These potentially invisible landmarks can create crop marks similar to crop circles during growing season. Regardless, to this day, there is quite a passionate community of people who try to distinguish between real crop circles of paranormal cause and fakes made by hoaxers. That is today's file, neatly wrapped, unwrapped, and poked with a stick.
So,
Sir?
Real crop circles, paranormal, and those made by hoaxers.
Yeah.
What if? Would they be hoaxers if they were the first to do it?
Depends on why they're doing it.
Like Neil Buchanan probably just does it because he's Neil Buchanan. And he doesn't do it to make crop circles to make people believe there's aliens. He just wants to put some art in the countryside.
So I suggest that he is
real.
Not a hoaxer.
He's not a hoaxer. So, today's probe is Neil Buchanan.
Every single one. Even the ones that we've clarified were made by other people. You're saying they're actually Buchanan.
He done a lot of them. And he had a hand in some way in the rest of them. Whether he inspired the people that done it, or he cut a little bit of the grass himself and they done the rest. Heart attack.
Okay, summarising, we've had the flattening of crop, which has been around many years in some form or another, but became particularly prevalent in the 1970s and 1980s. We covered a few historic cases, like the grass cut by the devil in the 1600s, and the National Defence declaring that a crop formation in Alberta, Canada, was not made by farming vehicle. We looked at some examples of circles becoming more complex in recent years before we debated ley lines and possible hidden messages, which weren't hugely convincing. We then considered whether horny hedgehogs or high wallabies were to blame, which was more convincing, before we moved on to aliens possibly sending messages or simply taking off in their crafts. We then moved to West Cornwall and looked at what police drones have been up to, and this was, to be honest, the reason I covered this files. Cock circles. The champion of crop circles. I showed you a few cocks from around the world, visible from space. If any aliens are looking at us, this is what they may see. Finally, we covered alternative explanations such as hoaxes, Bauer and Chorley. Meanwhile, sometimes archaeological remains may be to blame. But also, it's definitely aliens. The UFO community believes. Anything you want to double back on, or any new ideas before I ask you for your conclusion, sir?
None.
Are you saying that it was aliens?
I am saying that I want it to be alien ships passing by and leaving like reviews or QR codes, little messages to each other.
They're drawing the dicks.
But no, I honestly believe this is just Neil Buchanan's of the world.
Buchanan's.
Yeah.
Plural.
Doing art attacks all over the place. Some hoaxes, some just because they see it as a canvas and like, what can I do?
Yeah.
And they give it a whirl. The Banksys and Buchanans of the countryside.
Fair days.
Although really, I suppose... I was just about to say, I'm assuming Kevin just had a delivery. Halfway through recording.
Halfway, we're literally right at the end.
Well, right at the end. And I'm betting that it's a cock. He's ordered a dildo.
I've actually got a specialist lawnmower.
Ordered himself a cock-shaped lawnmower. It's going to take ages to get up to the 20th floor. Kev has just taken receipt of his dildos.
What did you just say?
Nothing.
Should I leave that bit in there?
Yeah.
It's good content.
So where were we? Kev thinks it's Neil Buchanan too.
I'm not saying that it was aliens. This file, to be honest, it's one of those ones where you've heard about it all your life. When you actually unpick it, there's not an awful lot to it. I think that sometimes ufologists can be pretty hardcore. These most hardcore of believers can ignore the facts, and that's what happens with crop circles. We've shown how they are created, but people just refuse to believe. There are even conspiracy theorists who suggest that the government is planting evidence of hoaxing to discredit the truth that aliens are creating these things when they visit. Genuinely, I think if we'd have spent the last millennium having cock circles turn up, I'd be more inclined to believe that it's aliens, because that's probably the sort of thing we do on other planets.
Yep.
Any final thoughts, sir?
No, I'm pretty good. We've seen some dicks drawn on the earth. Imagine that's your legacy. You drew the dick that is being seen from space.
Right, that's today's show, folks.
Want to go draw a massive dick?
Yeah. Thank you sincerely for listening to
But it was aliens.
today and whenever you may listen in the future. This continues to be our pleasure. If you want to probe us a little deeper, we are on the Twitter. At But It Was Aliens. We've launched a Patreon if you're interested in hearing us cover more widely paranormal events. Check it out and throw a few pounds in the probe pot at patreon.com/But It Was Aliens. But until next time, what is room temperature? Are all rooms the same temperature? The truth is up there. #probe. I'm sorry, this episode was corny.